King of TV Bowling, brought to you by Pepsi. Nothing else is a Pepsi. Jeff Weiler's Eastgate Auto Mall, where over 1,000 cars, trucks, and vans are cheaper in the country. And by Miller Lite. When you've got the great taste of Miller Lite, life is good.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to week number 7 here on the BPA King of TV Bowling. I'm your host, David Newrath, and Jennifer Kleekamp and I have been bringing you the scores week after week into your house, and we've had some great weeks, Jen.
We have. The 189 and under, once again, is proving itself great. The shot looks really nice today. I expect big scores and lots of strings of strikes, so stay tuned.
Strings of strikes, great scores. We've got it all for you in about 2 minutes from now. Stay with us. Don't go away. We'll be back with match number 1.
High atop the Queen City's 7 Hills lies Western Bowl, the plush recreation facility in Cincinnati that houses the world-famous Hoinky Classic. This 46-week bowling tournament has, for each of the past 13 years, paid out over $2.5 million to non-professional league bowlers. Thanksgiving weekend, the Super Hoinky, a 3-day single-game elimination tournament, entertains scratch bowlers and features a first prize of $100,000. Bowlers the world over have participated in the Hoinky Classic the past 51 years. For information, call 1-800-543-4010.
Now this is Slush Puppy. Slush Puppy, a frozen fruit-flavored drink that's fun in a cup. Oh, sure, kids love Slush Puppy, and you will too. Available at most entertainment centers like amusement parks, bowling centers, and many convenience stores. Oh, whoops, almost forgot. Same places you'll find Thelma's Old-Fashioned Lemonade. Thelma's Old-Fashioned Lemonade and Slush Puppy's variety of frozen fruit flavors, as cool as it gets.
Week number 7. David Taylor's going to be starting on the left-hand lane, lane 7. Gets the ball out on the lane, popped the thumb, and it looks like he hung him in it just a bit.
Yeah, he definitely did not come clean out of that ball, and that is indeed why you heard the thumping. But I'm sure he'll get it straightened out, maybe take a little tape out. You always want to have your hand comfortable in the ball. You don't want to be hanging in, and yet you don't want the ball to fall off your hand. It's very important to move tape in and out as your hand changes.
Look out. Again, hanging up in the ball is going to delay the roll. Getting the ball out on the lane is going to delay the roll. That's the last thing he's going to want to do, so I'm sure he's going to have to figure out a way to get the ball down earlier.
Now, David, we're going to look at Thomas Schlicker. And he's age 47, and he's been away from bowling for a while, but he's back into it. Happy to be here, and at a 657 to qualify.
Actually, he gets to the line awfully smooth. His mechanics are very, very nice. Have to read a little bit about this gentleman as we go on, and we haven't seen him on the BPA King of Bowling that I can remember anyway. Jen, what's his bio say?
Well, all the way back in 1986, he actually had a 210 average, but he got away from bowling, as I said. I believe he moved to Germany for a short stint, came in 5th in the European Masters, so he knows how to bowl. He's just trying to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, the bowlers over in Europe, they're no slouches. There you see it, age 47, averaging 182 now. Qualified with a 657, his first TV appearance. But look at this, 13 300s and 1/800 series. He advised us that most of those were overseas, and good form. The roll on the ball isn't quite what we expect over here in the States.
No, really.
But over in Europe, the lanes hook quite a bit more, and that roll was probably very advantageous over there.
That's what I was thinking, and he throws the ball very firm, gets good pin action because of his good speed.
Well, most of the service players that we've had conversation with over the years, Jen, have mentioned that the barracks lanes always hook more.
Is that right?
That was a great shot.
That
there,
really
too.
was. I think he has his release all figured out. came out clean this time. Excellent roll on the ball, David. There he goes, right over the 10th arrow, coming back sharply into the pocket, filling it up. Every pin is gone.
Well, both players striking in the second frame. The man you're looking at right now, going to make it 2? No, he hangs up in the ball and is not going to be happy with the leave that he has to shoot at, which is the 1, 3, 5, 1, 2, 5, and the 10. His age 31, 185, qualified with a 646, second time on TV, and his high game 279.
On that particular picture that he took, I think I made him laugh because I told him nobody would recognize him with his new haircut. Last time he was on, his first time he was on, he had very long hair. And he's looking good.
That's right.
He looks happy to me. Now if he can just fill some more frames.
Well, the open frame is not going to help, and boy, as a competitor, that's what you like to have, a little early help. Look out.
Wow, great break there.
Well, I mean, that's when you're rolling the ball clean, your competitor gives you an opening. All you want's a little break. Yeah, you're going to get one when you do this. Take a look at it. Let's watch and see if we can pick up which pin will be the damage done here. Let's see, is that the head pin? No. Okay, that's the 3 pin. Goes to the right-hand side of your screen, comes all the way across, and just leg sweep on the floor.
That's what I'm talking about, firm speed here. You've got the pins to work for you. He throws the ball extremely hard.
Throwing it hard and keeping it around the pocket is about half of the battle. The other half then is spares and creating a good clean roll, which he does not have right now.
Tom currently lives out in the Norwood area, out on Montgomery Road.
34 pins is his lead.
Nice spare technique, right on over at it.
Well, another thing I've found out about players that have come from overseas, Jen, their spare game is always good because they've had to shoot so many of them.
Sure.
The barracks lanes and the Army post lanes are notoriously tough, so these guys have to learn how to shoot spares.
Wow, once again, leaving the washout, this time on the right-hand lane.
The 1, 2, 4, 10 again. Let's see if we can visualize how this should be made, and that would be to have your ball go to the left of center on the head pin. There you see it, to the left of center. That's the one in the middle of your screen. And have the ball take out the 2 left pins. Let's see. Nope.
No, but he had the right idea. Shooting it from the left-hand side of the lane, getting that head pin to try and flatten out to kind of karate chop that 10. That's something I've been working on. I've always shot it off of my strike target 7 right with my feet, and I ring around the 10 pin so many times that I've really begun to change my approach to that spare. Experimentation. You've got to do it, and week after week we've said this. If something isn't working, change it. Do anything. David, it seems to me that he's throwing the ball too hard. He needs to lower his speed down a little bit. The one strike that he did strike on, it was just perfect speed, and the ball had time to react and grab on the lane and reach back into the pocket.
Correct. And if it isn't doing that, you have to either A, move your feet more to the right, point the ball up. Gets a break there by carrying it off the wall. Or slow the ball down, or move your mark in closer. Or maybe all of them. Watch the shot off the wall. That's a head pin going straight back. The 2 to the wall. 2 does a whirly bird. Boom. Right into the 8. It's a spare. But this gentleman is in the driver's seat right now.
Wow.
Jeez.
Went from a good break to a really bad one.
Neither ball finishing strongly down at the pins. Let's see if we can get a look at what kind of equipment he's throwing. It's a zone.
A Brunswick ball.
But I'm not sure if that particular piece of equipment is going to get the back-end reaction that he's looking for, Jen.
There's actually 2 types of zone bowling balls out right now. One is the Cobalt Blue, which he's throwing, which hooks a little more than the more pearlized version. That's kind of a new technology they have coming out, where they're taking a good ball and they are pearlizing it to make it go a little straighter and longer.
Well, let's see what he can figure out on the left-hand lane. The ball is not revving up and getting into the pocket. Let's see if he can make a move and get it there on his own. That's better. Still didn't roll though, Jen.
No. Tom tells us that he does throw a full roller, which may be the reason why it from time to time is thumping over the thumb hole. It's a very tricky release to play.
Tricky and somewhat antiquated. Jen might point out that there aren't too many players left using the full roller release, and it is very awkward to throw. And when the conditions are a little on the slick side, they have a problem. Well, look, let's see if they can figure it out during the commercial break, and when we come back, we'll finish up game number 1 here on the BPA King of Bowling. Stay with us.
The Import Center at the Jeff Wyler Auto Mall has it all. Nissans, Mazdas, and Mitsubishis at the lowest prices in the tri-state. Nissans like this Altima or this Quest minivan, cheaper in the country. Mazdas like the Protege or this 626, cheaper in the country. Or Mitsubishis like this Galant or Eclipse, cheaper in the country. The Import Center at the Jeff Wyler Auto Mall has it all, and they are cheaper in the country. The Jeff Wyler Auto Mall, Route 32, Eastgate.
Well, it's this type of thing that is very enjoyable for me, even though I didn't have anything to do with it. The organization, the Greater Cincinnati Women's Bowling Association, Pat Burns and crew, surprised us. They're here to give away an award. Pat?
Thank you. I'd like to thank everybody responsible on the King of TV show for allowing us this special time to present Jennifer Hoinke Kleekamp, who rolled on January the 24th, 1996, the first ever 800 series rolled by a woman in Greater Cincinnati. Jennifer, on behalf of the Greater Cincinnati Women's Bowling Association, we would like to present Jennifer with this lovely plaque signifying her games of 279, 268, and 259 for an 806 series that she bowled with her father on a Wednesday morning mixed couple league at Western Bowl. And also I'd like to introduce the rest of my staff: Pam Mitchell, Dean Runk, Kay Fuel. And again, thank you very much. And now, Kay, would you like to present Jennifer?
Beautiful. Let's show this.
Yes.
And look at this.
And also from the National WIBC for an 800, we're presenting Jennifer with this lovely pendant necklace with, I believe, about 4 diamonds or something. Eight diamonds. Eight diamonds. Very nice. Again, thank you for allowing us this time. This is a very special time for us, too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pat, thanks to the organization. Great job. Jennifer, congratulations. We'll be back right now for the last half of our first match. What a presentation, Jennifer. Congratulations. That was a lot of fun. We pre-recorded that a little earlier to make sure you wouldn't be crying or anything when we came back on the air.
I already got all that out of the way.
All right.
Whoa, good break for this guy right here.
Should have delayed them a little earlier,
Wow.
right? Sweeping
Coming back
shot.
strong.
Well, that was the first ever 800, 806, and you threw a lot of them just like this, I'm sure. That's a head pin going to the left-hand wall, coming across, and hack sign out the 10 pin. See you later, alligator. No problem, huh? Now we're going to get into a little swing here.
Let's see if he can make it 2 in a row here. David, he switched balls.
Yes, I believe he did, and this is reacting a lot better. Actually getting a bad break there and leaving the 7. It was a super shot.
Great ball change. Very impressive. Well, we had some time to think about it, you know, sit back and figure out what's wrong.
Well, and that's it. We say it week after week after week. If it's something's not working, don't stay there and die. Try something. If it's a ball that you feel more comfortable with, try it. If it's a different line, the speed change is probably the most difficult thing to do on
television. That really is consistently.
Everybody's game is around a tempo and around a procedure, and you start changing that tempo, and it's tough. Right-hand lane, the ball is just not gripping at all.
No, I think he's just getting it to go a little bit too long down the lane. Needs to get a little bit more under the ball, get a little different revolution going.
It's, you know, he's got the scores, Jennifer. He's got the history that he can knock pins down, but the roll on his ball right now is telling me that he's not getting the job done. See the ball skidding?
Yeah. Really is going straight down the lane, right down the boards.
Now, if that would have been a pocket shot, let's take a look at the roll. Watch it here. That ball should be turning more end over end, and it's just sliding. That's not the way. If that would have been a pocket shot with 10 pins, he could have left anything with that roll. He really needs to work on the roll right now, and if he can change balls and do that, that's great, but nope, still wide.
Looks like his timing might be a little bit off, David. It looks like he's a little bit up on his toes at the line instead of solid and under the ball.
Well, they're two excellent players from Cincinnati, and a lot of you will remember these names. Jack Calhoun, one of the best full rollers ever. Eddie Jackson, okay? But these players, that roll was used years ago as we look at the 1-2-4, and the roll and the conditions today just aren't suitable for that type of roll. Ladies and gentlemen, it's tough to explain on television, but the rotation on the ball nowadays dictates that the ball turn counterclockwise and spin back into the pocket as opposed to a full roller, which does just that. It rolls end over end down the lane.
David Taylor's just getting really lined up here.
The mixing ball is going to yield the strikes and bring back the things that he wants to see. Let's watch as we get a mixer down there. Keep your eyes on the headpin. Center your screen. As the ball comes in, the headpin's going to go to the left, right there, come off into the 4, and then whirlybird into the 7. That's the kind of pin action you're not going to get with a full roller. He lifted it again. Oh, just missed.
Headpin's really doing some damage there.
That it is. Jen, we've got something exciting to talk about here. The Kids Adventure Club, huh? How about that? We had some friends with us last week. Scooby-Doo was with us from Kings Island, and then we've had animals from the zoo. I keep waiting for the Baywatch person to show up to represent the beach, but they're not here.
This is really exciting, though, and I don't know about you, Dave, but yeah, I do, because you like to bowl with your kids, too.
Yes,
it's really fun. And they have something called the Kids Adventure Club coming up, and you get some instruction, you get 2 games of bowling, you get your free use of rental shoes, and all of that, you're going to get a free admission to Kings Island, the beach, and the Cincinnati Zoo. It's going to include your sanctioning, and I believe it is 12 weeks?
I think it's 16.
16? Anyway, it's a fantastic value, and you can find that at any of your BPA centers in Greater Cincinnati. So check them out, and you can call them at 761-BOWL and get all the information on it. It is really exciting, and it is a fantastic value. Check that out.
Well, the full roller is not knocking down pins. Now the spare game is eluding him. He has gone from 44 pins up at one point in this match to only 4, and now he is 4 down, Jen. What a turnaround. The ball is just not making a move towards the pocket. The skid, the roll, everything is not going to work for him. He's playing the lanes too deep. Watch the ball going down the lane. See, it's just never making that end-over-end roll to bring it back to the pocket. Leaving the 2, 4, and the 5, not a difficult spare.
Obviously, he's a very good spare shooter, because even though his average is only 182 and he's been higher in the past, a 182 average, you still have to make quite a few spares.
Absolutely.
Just wasn't on his game today, but we'll expect to see him back. Tom Schlicker.
Yeah, Tom's going to finish out with a strike would be 159, and Mr. Taylor is in the driver's seat, but he's going to have to mark. Depending upon the count. Let's see. It's wide again. Very, very bad. Yeah, he's going to have to take this information and go back and make a few adjustments in the game, huh, Jennifer?
You bet. I'd like to thank Heather from the Cincinnati Zoo, too, for bringing out some animals for us the past couple weeks. That was a lot of fun. and she was very thoughtful and very kind with the animals. I think Mr. Maruska from the Cincinnati Zoo ought to know that, because Heather did a fabulous job and represented herself well.
Well, don't go away, folks. The game is not over. He needs a spare to win. He leaves a somewhat difficult 2, 4, 5, 8. This is choppable from a couple different areas, and he needs to bring this back, or the match is not going to belong to him. Look out. It's right there. Okay.
Covered it good. For $500, he's going to be our winner today, David Taylor.
He has 149 right now without throwing the ball, so he needs a 6 count to
Which
tie.
he just left, so that's not
and
unreasonable.
A 7 to win now. So don't go away here. 7 to win, 6 to tie. Which one is it going to be?
Down the middle.
How about 10?
Excellent, excellent.
And so ends game number 1. Taylor, 159 over Schlicker, 155. We'll be back with the open division in just a minute.
Well? Messenger 10. Okay. Give me a granny strike. Give me a strike on lane 28. Okay. Must be the ball.
Available at Tri-State Bowling Supply's 3 locations.
Match number 2, Nick Vogelgesang, Scott Kramer. We are going to see some pins flying around this game.
These are 2 really big crankers.
That's right, a really big show. Really big show for you this morning. Watch this one. Thank you very much. Thank you. A late 10 for anybody else, but for Nick Vogelgesang, a routine strike.
You bet. And now Scott Kramer. We've seen him before, and he really rips the ball.
Well, that was my impression when they were warming up. I was just wondering if there's going to be any dressing left on the lane when these two finish.
He dried out.
Scott Kramer, watch him tug at it. Yeah.
Come on, baby, they're saying out here. He's got some supporters in the back. Scott bowls 4 or 5 times a week, and that explains why he is so good. High average, 223 at Madison Bowl.
We've said it time and time again, Jen. The better players, if you look at their sheets, you're always going to find multiple times out on the lane every week. Left lane, what do you think? Yeah, why not?
3 frames, 3 strikes. This is going to be a great match.
In all fairness to the 189 and under group, though, Jen, watch the release on this. You don't see this in the 189 and under division. Beautiful rotation. Great shot, guys, out in the truck. Good job.
Oh, and Nick going high for a maximum penalty 5 count split.
The ultimate trust, you have to have it when you throw the big ball like Nick does. He's been going to the bank for years by slapping them out, throwing shots around, not going through the nose. Cross lane, let's see if he can bring it back. It's close. Well, that's about as good as you can shoot it without making it.
Great effort there by Nick Vogelgesang.
Week after week, Channel 9 stands for news here in Cincinnati, but on Sunday mornings, Channel 9 brings you the best bowling you're going to find anywhere on your television dial. National, some other state, we've got it right here. Nick Vogelgesang, left-hand lane, will not go away.
David, we had some other high qualifiers this week. Jim Beckler, of course, Bill Butcher, who had an excellent write-up in the newspaper by Joe Minster. We thank him for all that great bowling information in the Thursday Neighbor Post. Ron Holliday and Jason Sebastian, congratulations to those gentlemen. Great bowling.
Scott Kramer, right-hand lane. Let's see if he can keep the pressure on. And he goes high on the same lane. Now, it's going to be very interesting to see if these 2 big ball players make an adjustment.
I think you can pretty well assume that they will. High score, 682 qualifying, 215 average, as we said. And he also has a 223 at Madison Bowl right now. Second TV appearance, and of course he has the ultimate 300 game.
Very wisely taking the 2 pins out on the left.
There's one of his rooters right there, cheering him on.
Scott Kramer trying to figure out what's gone wrong on the right-hand lane, but he was absolutely perfect on the left-hand lane last time. Let's make sure he doesn't change anything around.
Hurry, he said. He knew it was starting to go high. He needed to slide down. Of course, the good speed that he had rolled it right into the pocket.
Now, this is the key shot right here. Did Nick make some sort of an adjustment? Use the same ball? Looks like he's moved in just a little bit. Yep.
There it is.
Moved in, and ladies and gentlemen at home, if you're going to do this, if you're playing a certain line and all of a sudden it goes heavy, move in, catch the oil. Watch this. 1-3 pocket filled in, 10 in the pit, every pin doing its job. That's the way you do it.
I think that was a good tip for Nick when Scott also went high, because I think you can assume that it wasn't just you, and when somebody else does it, you better make an adjustment. And even if you go light with as much as they crank it, you're probably still going to carry the light hit anyway.
Nick Vogelgesang has now moved into a 3-pin lead, leaving the weak 10 on that particular shot. And our down lane camera, this one's going to be coming right at it, so hopefully Nick doesn't miss it to the right, or we could be watching this one from an unlikely position.
Of course, we have our king warming up over to our left, Riga Kalfas, coming back to challenge one of these two guys.
Scott Kramer trails by 2 pins as he enters his 5th frame.
On the right-hand lane.
Let's see if he makes the adjustment also. Went with a little bit more speed and a little bit more loft on the ball, Jen.
Solid.
We got 2 smart players.
That's a unique approach at it, and that's a very challenging lane. Of course, he's such a strong guy that getting up a little extra further down the lane is not a real big problem.
There you see the Miller BPA scoreboard, and what it's telling you is that we've got a match.
I was talking to Scott one day last year when we were qualifying. He was in a very awful automobile or motorcycle accident, excuse me. Almost threatened his life, almost died, and now here he is, and we're all really happy for him, and he is a very nice guy, and he's very interesting to talk to.
Yes, he did in fact lose his footing that time, and I think it was caused by a little anxious. He's got the lead against Nick Vogelgesang, and that you have to be thankful for. But unfortunately, people look back. They know Nick's going to come back. I think he got to the line too fast, got the ball extremely wide, and now he's paid for it double by missing.
I'm not sure what happened there, David. I couldn't pick up on that one.
Well, I hadn't noticed him in any of the warm-ups shooting spares across lane, Jen. So I'm not sure he was familiar with what he was going to run into over there.
Nick is so tenacious that he smells blood, and he's going to go in for the kill. Going for a big double there.
Nick Vogelgesang, 29 years old, averaging 2:35. Shake it off, Nick. Qualified with a 7:32. 27th TV appearance. I think that's more than I have.
Oh, cut it out. It can't be.
Well, I mean, just sitting here. Not bowling. I know it's more than I had bowling, but look at this. Look at this. Look at that, as they say, huh? The fans are kind of wound up about that, and Nick Vogelgesang's going to run away and hide. Deep knee bend down at the line, stays with it, and the one pin goes straight back. That's a 2-pin that you saw coming out of the channel, kicking the 4 and the 7 out late.
Both of these guys are extremely naturally talented in what they do.
Oh, if we've got a shot of his hand that time, this is about the greatest thing I've ever seen. He's trying to go with a little more loft, hangs in the ball. Take a look at it. His thumb will go down at the release point, right there. Oh, we just missed it. It's out of frame. But he twirls around the ball, which gets the ball down the lane, but it doesn't allow it to hit the way it should. You've heard of people trying to spin the ball through the heads, Jennifer. That's exactly what he did, and unfortunately it doesn't hook. That was a key shot there. That was his 7th frame. He really needed to strike.
Not out of reach yet, but he's going to need to string him the rest of the way out for sure.
3 frames left. He has to utilize them with strikes. Got to have one here.
Perfect shot. Perfect shot. That should actually be a double. But it isn't, so he's going to have to just work the rest of the way out and hope that Nick just gives him just a little bit of room.
Uh-oh.
That could be it. That could be the chance that Scott Kramer is looking for. Nick only has 2 doubles this game, so he's not stringing them together like we are used to seeing him.
Nick is striking more on lane 7 than he is on lane 8, and just nailing it down. And Scott Kramer, the same thing, Jen. Both players have 3 strikes on lane 7 and only 2 on lane 8. So the preferred lane is where Nick is right now for his 9th frame. Very important 9th frame. Let's watch.
Great shot. 9th frame, of course, the foundation frame. He's going to post a 166. In the 8th frame, he's going to strike out for 226.
Well, we're only talking 7 pins difference in these 2 players right now. 7 pins. However, right now, Scott...
He has to double.
Yes, Scott is behind 7. He needs a double right now.
It's there. It's there. Well, it's all going to go down to the 10th frame. Who has the most guts here? Let's see.
Big frame, big delivery. It's absolutely perfect. He likes it. 10 in the pit. Every pin doing its job.
He knew it. He said that's
right.
it, halfway down the lane. That's when you really get to be a fine bowler, when you know as soon as you let it go whether it's going to strike or not.
Scott Kramer trails by 7. His first delivery in the 10th. Let's see.
Just a little bit light on that lane 7.
Trust is a must, and if you're going to make a mistake, I'd still rather see it there than through the nose. At least he's got a chance for a spare. Bringing back the spare here will keep him in the match.
That will be all she wrote. Very unfortunate. Scott bowled a beautiful game, and he's going to come up on the short end of the stick today. Unless something really strange happens.
This one, this one belongs to Nick, no stranger to winning matches, and he's going to go on to face the King, who's warming up in the wings. And who of you can remember who that is? We're not going to tell you, but do you remember last week? Think about it. Nick Vogelgesang, what are you going to do? He's just going to experiment around, cuts through, leaves a spare, and he's still not real comfortable for the next game, Jen. So let's see how he shoots this. Is it for a spare, or is he going to play around with a strike ball? We'll know the minute it leaves his hand. He's throwing for a strike. Yep. See him there, folks?
Very smart playing there, folks.
Absolutely. There you see game number 2, Nick Vogelgesang defeating Scott Kramer 213 to 185. Stay with us. We'll be back for the big game in just a minute. The championship match. Riga Kalfas, a champion nonetheless. Week after week he has been around, and last week he won. WGRR, one of our greatest sponsors. And Tony, it sure is good to have you here this morning.
Thanks, Dave. It's good to be here. Some good bowling going on.
As usual. Every week we do that, huh?
Exactly.
AMF supplies us 2 Dick Weber Legacy C bowling balls. This is a great prize, and why don't you tell the viewers how they can get these?
It's real simple. All you got to do is listen tomorrow morning between 7 and 9, and then Chris and Janine are going to play tomorrow morning a particular song. And when you hear it, you have to be the 5th caller at 749-1035. If you've got the winning score of the championship game, then you're going to win the Dick Weber AMF Legacy C, his and hers bowling balls.
All right, just in confidence, what is that song?
It is by Manfred Mann. Any idea? Do-Wah Diddy Diddy.
Dumb did he do?
Dumb diddy.
Okay, all
Do.
right. Tony, thank you very
Doo-wah.
much. Everybody tune in tomorrow. Listen for doo-wah, whatever he said, and remember the score of this winning match, and you'll win those balls. Tony, thank you very much. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks, Dave.
You guys are doing a great job for us. Thank you. Well, Nick Vogelgesang starts the way Nick likes to start, and that's with a strike. And Riga Kalfas has to come out and match him shot for shot, and he knows it. I don't think there should be any problem. Slick look and roll on that one. Riga is right on track, and there's his lovely wife that Jennifer always wants to keep handing money to.
That's right. If you ever want to emulate somebody's style, this is just a classic style to emulate. Look, he's solid at the line, maintains his position all the way through the ball. And you can see what the roll does. I mean, that talks for itself right there. Pin action, pin action, pin action.
Oh, a little reaction out of Riga.
I love it.
Whew. That's about as excited as he gets, folks. So you got to see it early. Both players starting the game with a strike. Riga left-hand lane. What do you think?
He really got that out to the very, very edge. And it may have just been just a hair wide.
It's like an area check, right, Jan? How far can we go with
almost made
this?
it back, too. Riga's concentration, too, is something to be seen. Very much contrasting to Nick Vogelgesang, who just kind of gets up and throws, but that's good for Nick because that's conducive to his style. He creates area by that. He uses his natural ability, where Riga is more of a counting boards type concentrating player.
Absolutely. You couldn't have put it any better. Absolute power. Nick Vogelgesang will do it to you time after time again. His head pin and 3 pins. Take a look at it here. The head pin center your screen. Keep your eyes on it as the ball goes through. And the 2 pin right there. Now that's the 2 pin. Coming across. Takes out the 7. Hacksaws the 9 out. Multiple pins going in several different directions. That's the way you maximize the power. And Nick is power personified.
He, for a long time, has just been one of the top players in Cincinnati and abroad, really, as an amateur, of course, winning the Super Bowl high roller for a cool $100 grand. Like I said, with his match against Scott Kramer, both of those guys are just naturally talented bowlers. They have a wonderful release that is very effective with the pins.
And you so aptly pointed out, Jen, contrasting styles. Riga Kalfas, deliberate, schooled, almost mechanical in his approach to the game, and he strikes. Here comes Nick Vogelgesang. Takes no time, sets the ball, wails it. Mr. Free Spirit himself, but both players can score well, and they can also lose it and go in the tank, but they look good today.
Of course, as we mentioned, this is our Stones Lane show, and David, they have a pretty good tournament going on there that's been going on for years. Every St. Patrick's Day.
Aye, the luck of the Irish is with Riga on that shot, but we want to tell you just a quickie here. It's March 16th and 17th for $1,000 first place. Look at this approach. Down at the line, super angle, comes in and slaps it out. Nick on the right-hand lane gets it way too wide.
You don't see Nick throw too many errant shots. Anyway, March 16th and 17th.
Yeah, March 16th and 17th. There's a grand for first place. $1,000 first place, a team event, and they have shifts for from 10 a.m.
From 10 to 6:30.
all the way up to 6:30. So call Roger out there at Stones, and he'll set you up.
Or Janet. His sister.
Great tournament. Nick, good job. Take a look at this. He throws a backup ball into the 1 and then ricochets it into the 10. You will not see that anywhere except here on BPA
David,
King of Bowling.
was he trying to do that?
Oh, absolutely. No, he does that
You'd think with his speed it wouldn't deflect that far.
No, he practices that shot, Jennifer, and I've seen him do that hundreds of times.
That is so talented.
He shoots his baby split the same way. You know, but to careen off the head pin all the way back to the 10.
It's a long way to go. That's just how talented it is.
That's right.
Just all there is to it.
Leave it to Nick to come up with something new and exciting to show the folks at home, right? I think we've gone down a lot of the players that have been making money on Saturday and Sunday in the King of Bowling. Remember, the weeks are coming down quickly as we see a close-up shot of Riga fitting his hand into the ball very deliberately. But the weeks are shutting down, so if you want to get out and bowl in the qualifiers, there's still time. 761-BOWL will give you all the information. Oh, Riga.
Wow. Really going through the heart there. I think he just set it down a little early, got a little bit right of his target. Of course, he is the king, and Nick doesn't have anything on Riga because he's appeared 22 times and averaging 2-2-2. Something about those twos, and he'll take 2 there.
Well, this is going to tighten things up, but we were starting to talk about the tournament, Jen. Already, to date, they've set aside for the finals prize money. Now, the finals include all the people that you've seen on the show. They will get together a couple of days before the final show, which is going to be out in Glenmore in Cheviot this year. And already there's $3 grand stacked away in special prizes for that part of the tournament. This is a great tournament. Come on out and play.
We had Alicia Himmler coming in second this week, and winning was Teresa Bailey for $100. So women, don't you forget, there's prizes for you too.
21 pins is the deficit for Riga Kalfas. Almost a tragic move leaving the 7-9, but the 9 falls out late. He'll change balls, go to the harder shell blue ball, skid that across the lane. And I didn't see him practice this. Hopefully he's not going to hit that big puddle of oil. He's okay.
He went more to the left of it, yeah. Some other high qualifiers in the 189 and under division that I didn't mention, and I'd like to, is Chris Luby and Gil Hundley, Curtis Hendricks and Charles Nance. We'd like to congratulate them. They had some great bowling this week at Stones.
The ball is just not finishing the way we're used to seeing Nick's ball finish. I'm confused, and he looks confused.
Going after the difficult 2-8 spare, but Nick shot this thousands of times in his career. Of course, when they are a little bit more concentrated oil in the middle, that does increase the missing value of that spare.
Now watch this. The ball skids. See, it's still skidding. And it's only until like about the 55-foot mark, Jen, is it going into that hard, strong roll that we're used to seeing Nick throw. Now, he's going to have to contend with that. See, there again the same thing. The ball is just not making that left-hand move that we're used to seeing. Now, a couple of reasons why this might be happening. The lane dressing is moving down the lane. Let's here, watch it again. It should be turning left right now. And see it back off again. Boy, if we had one of those fancy, expensive telestrators like the National guys,
we could make some X's and A's.
Yeah, we could make a lot of X's and O's there. But I mean, Nick's looked back at us in confusion. But
I know the feeling. It is frustrating, especially when you're the good quality bowler that he is, and you're not even sure what to do.
Absolutely. Riga Kalfas, on the other hand, is taking a more direct line down the lane, and the finish that neither player's really seen is going to affect him less because he's not taking the ball away from the pocket.
And the only reason he's trailing by 18 is because he did have that open frame where Nick has filled every one.
There it is.
That's an excellent shot. Smacking his hands. He's ready to get aggressive and take this on to another win as king.
Riga Kalfas, a smart player. He's not the power player that Nick is. No. Nobody would ever insinuate that. Is he smart? Yes. Riga knows his game. 18 pins at this point. A strike working for Riga Kalfas. He can cut that to 8 pins if he strikes here. Let's see if he's got it figured out, Jen. Straighter down the boards, using the angle to come in.
Going just a bit high, but that just as easily could have struck, or just even more as easily could have went high for a big split and another open. Not a bad adjustment to leave a 4-pin. Anytime you're doing that, you are close.
Nick looking at his opponent's remaining pin. knowing that he's going to bring this back easily. There you see the Pepsi BPA scoreboard indicating that Nick is 18 pins to the good with 3 frames yet to go.
That was a great shot, David.
He's figured it out.
He got the roll to be created much earlier on the lane, probably somewhere around 45 feet as opposed to 55 feet.
Well, let's count it down. Let's see where it starts to straighten out and then turn left. Right?
It is right
there. It's still just a hair of a hesitation.
Yes.
So that means we've got travel down to the end of the lane. That's not bad. There it is again. That's not bad. So don't complain to management. Don't complain to the lane guy. Take this game. Take what it gives you. Work with it. That's what makes it so interesting. Mm-hmm. Constantly changing, even though you're in the same building, right?
It's challenging, and I tell you, I love the challenge. And no matter what, you're always playing on the same surface as your opponent, so...
That's correct. So if you're going to whine, do it some other place, because we don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
173 in the 8th frame for Nick. Riga Kalfas registering 135 in the 7th with a spare up in the 8th. Don't go away. We've got 2 frames for Riga, and he can put the pressure on Nick if he strikes right now. Yes. Okay, come on, Rig. There's the wife rooting him on. Let's take a look, if we can, at the release. Watch the release right there. Gets through the ball, stays down right about the first arrow of the 5th board. This ball comes back strong, no deflection, and a messenger just in case there was something left. Well, we've got 18 pins Riga needs to make up. He's got the strike working in the 9th. With the first strike in the 10th, he cuts it to 8. We've got a match, Jen. This is what we like to see in the championship round.
Excellent. 2 different types of strikes, both with the same result. He can go out for 215. Of course, Nick has posted a 173 in the 8th with a spare, so it's going to force him to strike in the very first ball in the 10th.
Well, Riga Kalfas right now needs to strike on the 2nd ball in the 10th to force Nick Vogelgesang to spare. He's got it. They're all done now. That's it. He's got to throw this one. Let's watch. Too wide. Way too wide. Well, it's not over yet one way or the other, but it changes the complexion quite a bit. You can tell that she wasn't too happy with that shot. Here, he gets outside of his target. The ball sails and sails and sails. Never does come back. Cleanly makes the spare, but too little, too late. He really needed a strike there. He's got 201, all finished and all in for Riga Kalfas. Nick Vogelgesang, as long as he doesn't hit his ankle. And he didn't.
Needed 9, he got 10.
Well, we're always pleased to see bowlers bowl well, but these bowlers bowled smart. It's always enjoyable to watch 2 guys that are very knowledgeable about the game have to dig a little deeper, go the extra mile, and figure out what's going on, and then make it happen.
And if you would like to become a smart player, David, the best way to
Yes.
do it is to just go and bowl. And, of course, the summertime's coming up, and there's leagues forming at every BPA center. It's a short-term league, so it's not a real long commitment, and I think it's just a great way to get some extra practice in and work on your game.
Well, there we have it. A new king, Nick Vogelgesang, 213, defeating Riga Kalfas 201. What a match. Stay tuned. We're going to be giving out some checks here in just a couple of minutes. We'll wait for you.
The GM Center at the Jeff Weiler Auto Mall has it all. I'm David Weiler, and we have Buicks, Pontiacs, Chevrolets, and Geos at the lowest prices in the tri-state. Like this Chevy Cavalier or extended cab pickup, cheaper in the country. Pontiacs like this Grand Prix or Grand Am, cheaper in the country. Buicks like this Century or the Sabre, cheaper in the country. The GM Center at the Jeff Weiler Auto Mall has it all. It's cheaper in the country. Jeff Weiler Auto Mall, Route 32, Eastgate.
The king is dead. Long live the king. Nick Vogelgesang, our winner for week number 7. But first, we've got the 189 and under division. Some checks to give away. Jennifer?
Yes, we do indeed. Dave, you had a little bit of a low score today, but it was a usual high, but we still have $500 for you. Roger Bettinghouse from Stone Plains, he's going to present the check today.
Dave, $500, congratulations.
And of course, we have a really nice plaque for you. Okay, thanks.
Congratulations. Nick, $600 for you. Another plaque to hang on the wall. Lane's got a little tough there at the end, huh?
Yeah, I was moving left and right and just luckily made all my spares. Spares do win matches.
Spares do win matches, and you won the king. Great job. Stay with us. You can see Nick right here next week on the BPA King of TV Bowling. Bye-bye.